Gee whiz.
Hello, friends. Welcome to this series of old-time radio show episodes called Gee Whiz. I'm John Henderson. These are the stories of the schemes, trials, and loves of the typical American teenagers, Andy Hardy, Archie Andrews, and Henry Aldrich. Coming up, a Hardy family episode where Andy's beliefs on marriage go out the window, and a very special episode that deals with a very serious subject.
What is cancer?
Cancer, in just 3 simple words, is cells gone wild.
Doctor, cancer.
Now, just a minute before you go getting all excited. Not all abnormal growths or tumors are cancer, Mrs. Walsh.
Oh, thank heaven.
But first, a really fun episode. The sound quality could be better, but you get used to it quickly. Here is the Aldrich family.
And now for the Aldrich family. Grown-ups ought to go back now and then to a time when the world was younger. And the first person they'll meet on a trip back to their youth will always be a typical teenage boy like Henry Aldrich. The scene opens in the Aldrich front hall. It's just before noon.
Homer.
Why, Henry?
Homer, has Agnes said anything to you about coming up to visit her at Lake Witchamaclatchy this summer?
Why, not yet. Exactly.
Oh.
Has Kathleen?
Well, she hasn't said that in so many words.
No? What has she said?
Nothing.
Oh.
I guess it just slipped her mind.
Yeah. I guess it did the same thing with Agnes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agnes is bound to invite me sooner or later, though, don't you think?
Sure, Homer, sure.
I mean, when you consider what we've been to each other, if it hadn't been for me, what would she have done with her money all year?
It's just a matter of time, Homer.
Sure. The
only thing is, Kathleen and Agnes are leaving tomorrow morning.
I know, Henry, I know.
Homer, suppose they find 2 other guys up at the lake that are more interesting than we are.
You think that's possible, Henry?
More incredible things have happened, Homer.
Henry, we've just got to get ourselves invited up there for a couple of weeks to protect our interests.
Maybe we ought to go over right now and drop a few hints. You know, casually.
I already did that. Just last night, I happened to mention to Agnes how terrible I'd feel not seeing her all summer. And you know what she said? She said it made her feel wonderful.
What?
That I'd miss her like that.
Oh.
She said the thought of my being miserable would keep her happy all summer long.
I guess she didn't catch on.
I guess not. Henry, there's just one thing to do.
What's that?
Ask the girls right out if they wouldn't like to invite us up for a couple of weeks.
Ask them? Right to their face?
Sure.
And have them think we're anxious?
Well, we are.
Well, sure we are, Homer, but gee whiz, don't you think we ought to at least warm them up first?
Gee whiz, we've been warming them up all winter long.
Homer, you're right. Hand me the phone.
Here.
Elm 344.
Elm 344.
Listen, Henry, when Kathleen gets on, don't la-di-da around.
Don't what around?
La-di-da, la-di-da. Ask her right out.
Don't worry, Homer. I'll put my cards right on the table.
Hello?
Hello, Kathleen. This is Henry.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Kathleen, do you mind if I ask you a direct question?
A direct question?
That's the way, Hen.
My goodness, Henry, what direct question?
Well, Kathleen.
Yes?
Kathleen?
Yes?
Kathleen, did you know July has 31 days?
What?
And then there's August and September.
Henry, stop la-di-daing.
Gee whiz, that's a long time.
Let me have the phone. Hi, Kathleen.
Is that Homer? Wait a minute, here's Agnes.
I'll show you how to ask a direct question, Henry.
Hi, Homer, how's the kid?
Look, Agnes, I have a direct question for you.
Okay, shoot.
Agnes, have you ever noticed how hot it gets here in the summer?
Sure.
Boy, you could fry eggs on the sidewalk.
I don't like fried eggs.
Neither do I. But if you did, you could.
Well, I sure am lucky I'll be up at Lake Witcham and Classy all summer.
know, but how about me?
You? I tell you what I'll do, Homer.
What?
When I get up to the lake, I'll send you one of those straw hats.
What?
So you don't get sunstroke.
But
But
Agnes.
Homer, I've got to hang up now. I'll see you tonight.
But Agnes. Gee whiz.
Well,
Henry, let's stop lottie-dying around and think of what we can do now. Boy, Henry, a farewell party. That's a perfect idea.
you think so, Homer? You really think that'll impress the girls?
I'll say, I've got it all figured out. We'll be charming, see?
Charming?
All evening long. Then when we've got them all charmed, we'll lead up to inviting us to the lake.
Sure.
Sure.
What are you doing to that lamp, Homer?
Unscrewing the bulb.
What for?
Henry, I'm just trying to make this party as cheap as possible for your parents.
Homer, that isn't necessary. Besides, we'll want to dance.
We will?
Sure.
Well, there'll still be plenty of light
How?
from the dial of the radio.
Homer. Besides, what gave you the idea the party's going to be here at my house?
Where then?
Well, your house is very homey.
Mine? Henry, I don't think so. My mother's against parties,
Yes?
especially if I'm invited.
Look, suppose we do this. If I go in and ask my mother, would you be willing to phone yours?
Well, I'll phone her, but I don't hold out too much hope.
Mother? Mother, are you in the kitchen?
Yes, Henry. And try not to get in my way, dear. Your father's coming home for lunch.
Sure, Mother. Mother, if you were a girl, how would you feel about a farewell party?
If I were a girl, I'd like it very much.
You would? You think Kathleen will be impressed?
You're having a party for her?
Just a quiet little get-together with Homer and Agnes.
Well, that sounds very nice.
You think so? Well, Mother, don't you think I ought to have it in a place where I'll feel right at home?
Henry, we're not having another party here.
Well, Mother.
Homer's a nice boy, Henry, but I'd like to keep my home in one piece a while longer.
Mrs. Aldrich, do you mind if I have lunch here?
Why?
I don't think I'd better see my mother till she's cooled off.
You mean she said no?
That's one of the things she said.
Mother, you're our last hope.
I'm sorry, dear, but do you remember what happened when Homer tripped last New Year's Eve? That lovely picture of Aunt Harriet dropped right off the wall.
I know, only...
He hasn't looked the same since.
Mother, suppose Homer promises to keep an eye on his feet every minute.
Gee whiz, Mrs. Aldrich, if it'll make you feel any better, Agnes and I will sit on the couch and we won't get off it all evening.
Please, Mother.
Alice, I'm home.
In the kitchen, Sam. Henry, suppose we leave it up to your father.
Father, you think we ought to drag in people who might be prejudiced?
I do.
Henry will lick.
Good afternoon, Alice. Boys.
Hello, Mr.
Hello,
Aldrich.
dear.
Well, why the serious faces?
Sam, the boys would like to have a party here tonight.
A party?
A quiet one, Father, to say goodbye to Kathleen and Agnes. They're leaving for Lake Witchamaclatchy tomorrow.
Tomorrow? The Lawsons and the Andersons are leaving so soon.
So wouldn't you say a farewell party is a good idea?
Why,
Or wouldn't you?
Alice, I don't think it would do any harm.
Gee, Father.
Boy, Mr. Aldrich, have I misjudged you? You're really a nice guy.
Oh, thank you.
Well, if you think so, Sam.
You know what, Alice? We owe the Andersons and the Lawsons a little party. Why not have them come over, too? Make one big party of it.
What? What? Sam, that's an excellent idea. We can all say goodbye in one fell swoop.
Kathleen, could you hand me the rest of the peanut butter? Agnes, I'm sure the Aldriches are going to have something to eat. Why bother with peanut butter sandwiches? Homer loves them. Oh, here. Thanks. My, wasn't it sweet of the boys to arrange this farewell party for us? Say, hand me the chili sauce. Here. Thanks. Agnes, you're not going to put chili sauce on the peanut butter. Homer likes it this way. He does? Yes. Anything to kill a taste of the peanut butter. Did you have any trouble talking your parents into inviting Homer to the lake? I'll say I did. I don't feel I should see too much of Homer until I grow up and get more sense. Now, don't forget, we're not going to tell them about being invited until the last minute. They'll be so surprised they'll fall over. Kathleen, you think we're doing the right thing, don't you? Making peanut butter sandwiches? No, inviting the boys up to the lake. Agnes, what do you mean? Well, there'll be other boys up there, and don't you think think we could stand some new blood? Of course we could. We'll find some, but why burn our bridges behind us? What bridges? Henry and Homer. You wouldn't want to come back and find they'd gotten interested in other girls, would you? You think they would? Agnes, I know you don't like me to mention this, but remember what happened between Geraldine Love and Homer when you went away last Christmas? Yeah. Yeah. Agnes. Why, the minute my back was turned. Agnes, you're squeezing the peanut butter right out of that sandwich. Oh, gee whiz. So don't you agree we ought to invite them up for a couple of weeks and play safe?
Henry, where shall I put these logs?
Right next to the barbecue, Homer.
There.
I guess we've got enough, Homer.
Sure. Boy, and it sure was smart of you to think of moving our party out to your backyard.
Thanks, Homer.
We wouldn't have gotten anywhere with the girls with their parents right there in the same room.
Besides, when you come right down to it, it's really cooler out here.
Sure.
And no pictures to fall off the wall.
Or bulbs to unscrew.
Help me move this porch glider, Homer.
Okay. Where?
In front of the barbecue so we can watch the corn while it's roasting.
There. Henry, is this a four-man glider?
Why, it could be, Homer, if you don't mind a little squeezing.
Gee whiz, why should I mind?
Well, what are you boys doing with the fireplace?
Father, have you ever noticed our living room when more than 4 people get in it? Gee whiz, it sort of disappears.
You don't say.
Yes, sir, and under those conditions, we and the girls don't mind being outside in the yard.
Well, that sounds sensible. Are you planning on roasting something in the fireplace?
Yes, Father. Corn.
Corn? Hey, I haven't had roast corn in years. How are you going to do it?
How? Was there any other way besides wrapping them in corn shucks?
Henry, you're crazy. The best way to roast corn is put them on a spit and keep swiping them with a paintbrush.
Paintbrush?
With butter on it.
Well, you're both wrong. The way we did it when I was a boy was wrap them with mud and drop them in the coals.
Mud?
Well, they come out so tender and
Dirty?
delicious. You've never had them that way?
Gee, no.
I'll say.
Well, you don't know what you've missed. I tell you what I'll do. I'll roast some for you tonight.
What?
But, Father, what about your guests?
We'll move them out here, too.
Out here?
We'll all have a good old-fashioned corn roast. Henry, this is the best idea you've had in a long time.
Thank you, Father.
Wrapped in mud? Boy.
Quiet, Homer. My father will hear you.
Boy, all I can say is he must have had some childhood if he went around wrapping his corn in mud.
Homer, the important thing is everybody will be here in a little while. How are we going to get the girls alone?
Henry, why not tell your father it isn't that we don't like his company, but we mind not horning in.
Homer, I couldn't. It might hurt his feelings.
I know, but we don't want to go through the summer with just each other staring us in the face, do we?
Wait a minute, Homer. Wait a minute. I think I've got it.
You have?
Hiya, fellas.
Boy, what a time for Willie to show up.
Just ignore him, Homer.
How?
What you doing, fellas? Nothing, Willie, and we'd appreciate it if you didn't bother us. Sure, fellas, I'd be glad to. Good. What is it?
What is what?
That I'm not supposed to bother you about.
Anything, Willie, anything.
Homer, here's my idea. Say, fellas, did you know I'm going away for the summer tomorrow?
That's fine, Willie. That's the best news I've had all day. Goodbye.
Goodbye. You want me to beat it?
Just until next fall.
Oh, well, if that's the way you feel, I was going to tell you where I'm going, but now facts can.
Good.
You can spend the whole summer wondering where I am for all I care.
Henry, what's your idea?
I won't even write. Homer, why not take the girls out for a really big farewell party to the best restaurant in town?
What?
Not a single word.
Henry, all we have is 39 cents.
Not even a postcard. The beautiful part. It won't cost us a cent. Or anything.
It won't.
No. Willie. Yes, Henry, yes. You want me to tell you where I'm going? No, Willie. But you and your family eat out a lot, don't you? Well, as much as we can without insulting my mother. Well, tell me, Willie, where would you like to go if you were going on a farewell party? A farewell party? Someone's giving a farewell party?
Haven't you been listening?
No, who? We are. No kidding. Where, Willie? Gee, I've always thought the White Feather Inn was a swell place. Sure, the White Feather Inn. Come on inside, Homer. Thanks, Willie. Gee, fellas, don't pack me.
Henry, aren't you going to tell me your plan?
Simple, Homer. Look, if we go in and tell my father we'd like to take the girls to the White Feather Inn, what do you think will happen?
He'll horn in.
And if we're there with the older people, they couldn't very well expect us to do any paying, could they?
Sad.
Then, later on, we'll go to a movie. And once we're in the dark, Homer, we're set.
Henry, you're a genius.
Thanks, Homer. Father, are you home?
Get here, Henry. No, Alice.
Sam, I won't hear of it. Feeding our guests muddy corn.
Alice, it's delicious.
No, Sam. Besides, corn is not in season yet.
It isn't?
It isn't?
I'll just make a nice tossed salad instead.
Alice, what kind of a farewell party will it be with just a tossed salad and no corn?
You know, Father, that's just what we were thinking. That's why Homer and I thought we might take the girls out to dinner instead.
To dinner?
Yes. At the White Feather Inn, say?
That's an excellent idea. Why don't we all go?
You're coming along, Father?
If you don't mind.
Mine?
Mine? Gee whiz, the more the merrier.
Well, we better start getting dressed, Sam.
Father, suppose Homer and I pick up the girls in our car and drive them down.
Very well, and I'll call the Andersons and ask them to pick us up.
Mother!
Come on, Homer. See you later, Father.
Goodbye, Mother. Goodbye, Father. I have to rush.
Dear, where are you going?
Out dancing with Joe Graham. He's leaving for a summer job tomorrow morning.
Oh.
Well, Mary, why not join us?
You, Father?
We're having a farewell party at the White Feather Inn.
You couldn't expect Joe Graham to say goodbye in front of my own mother and father.
Oh, my goodness. Sam.
What's wrong, Alice?
Dear, you don't suppose Henry and Homer feel the way Mary does, do you?
About Joe Graham?
Sam, you don't think we're forcing our way in on their farewell party?
Well, they said they didn't mind our joining them.
Sam, they were just being polite. My goodness, they've probably been saving up for this evening for months.
Well, Alice, what can we do?
Sam, there's just one thing we can do. Keep all the grown-ups away and let the boys have their own farewell party exactly the way they wanted it.
And now getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. In order to induce Kathleen and Agnes to invite them to the lake this summer, Henry and Homer are taking them to the most expensive restaurant in town for dinner. At Mr. Aldrich's expense, they hope. The scene opens in the White Feather Inn.
Henry, you told your parents the White Feather Inn, didn't you?
They'll be here, Homer. They're waiting for the Andersons to pick them up.
They shouldn't be long, Henry. My parents were just about ready to leave when you tooted the horn. Homer, before we order, let's get one thing straight. Are you taking care of the whole bill?
Sure.
Including the tip?
Sure.
I don't have to pay for a thing?
Gee, no.
What's come over you?
Oh, gee, Agnes, it's just a sample of the way we feel toward you.
It is?
Would you like me to put a nickel in the jukebox, Kathleen?
What for?
So we can have music with our meal.
Sure, it helps you digest, especially fast music.
Henry, you're spending enough money on us as it is.
Gee, Kathleen, tonight the sky's the limit. We've got 39 cents put aside for music alone.
Well, let's wait until everybody else comes.
Boy, am I starved. Am I starved?
Agnes, what are you going to order? I don't know. What are you? I don't know. There's a lovely special dinner here in the corner for 85 cents. What's on it? Oh, no, that's only for children. Up to what age?
You know what I'm going to have? Pheasant under glass.
What's a pheasant?
Boy, it's sort of a chicken, only tougher.
And it's under glass?
Sure.
How do you eat it?
I don't know. But don't you think it might be interesting to find out?
I'll have pheasant, too. Isn't that terribly expensive?
Kathleen, I told you, this is our night to howl.
Well, in that case, you know what I've always wanted to try? Lobster.
Lobster? I'll have that, too.
So will I.
Instead of pheasant?
No, as a side order.
Excuse me. I'm Mr. Curley, the manager. Is there a Mr. Aldrich at this table?
Oh, that's me.
Mr. Aldrich wants you on the phone.
Oh, he does? Guess he wants to tell me they're on their way over.
Would the rest of you folks like to order?
Boy, I'm starved.
Gee whiz, as long as they're practically here, we might as well.
Sure, let's order up.
Fine. The phone's right there in the corner.
I'll be right back.
How's your pheasant under glass tonight?
Very nice, sir. The specialty of the house.
Hello, Father.
Hello, son.
Father, where are you?
I'm having dinner with the Andersons and the Lawsons.
What?
We finally realized you'd much rather be alone.
Alone? Father, no!
Now, you needn't be polite, Henry. We understand.
But
Your
Father...
mother and I want you to have a good time, and be sure and say goodbye to the girls for us. Good night, son.
Wait, Father. Come back. Father, all we've got is 39 cents.
Shirley's going to make us up a special dessert with 4 different flavors of ice cream for only $2 extra.
Homer.
Henry, you know the lights here make you look awfully pale.
Homer, it isn't the lights. My father just jilted us.
What?
He's not coming. How will we pay for the dinner?
Henry, we've already ordered.
Well, we'll have to unorder quick. Come on.
Oh, boy, and did Agnes go to town?
Henry, are the rest of them coming?
No, Kathleen.
That's good. My mother's always watching this figure.
But you see,
Homer, we changed our minds about that special dessert.
You did? That's a good idea.
Mr. Curley suggested a thing called baked Alaska instead.
He did?
Yes, it's hot ice cream. Isn't that ridiculous? It's the most expensive dessert they have.
Oh, boy.
Will there be anything else?
Yes, Mr. Curley.
No, that is... Agnes, why stuff yourself?
Why not? It's for free.
what Homer means is, well, gee, don't you think it's too hot for all that heavy food we ordered? Well, why not order something light?
Like what, Henry?
Why, Mr. Curley, could you make us up some nice lettuce sandwiches?
I'm afraid not.
Besides, I'd rather have pheasant under glass with lobster on the side.
Hey, fellas!
It's Willie.
What's he doing here?
Am I late, fellas? Willie.
Late for what, Willie?
My farewell party that Henry and Homer are throwing for me. Oh, boy. Mister, you want to take my order? Boy, am I starved.
What did Mr. Curley say?
Homer, you should have heard him.
Gee whiz, he sure looked mad. The way he was waving his arms, I thought sure he was going to hit you with one of them.
So did I.
Is he going to sue us?
Not exactly. We have to come in every afternoon and mop floors until it's worked off.
Henry, that'll take us all summer.
I know.
Gee whiz.
We better get back to the girls. Did Agnes eat everything she ordered?
Yes. I don't know where she put it, but she put it.
Where'd Willie go?
To the Havens for a soda.
After all he ate?
He told he needed something to wash it all down.
Oh, boy, what a meal. Henry, I've never had a lovelier time. I'm stuffed.
It was a pleasure, Kathleen.
Can you tell him now, Agnes? Okay.
Tell us why.
You won't believe your ears.
I won't.
Henry, we talked our parents into inviting both of you up to the lake.
What?
Why?
We were saving you for a surprise. Aren't we awful? When can you come?
Why,
I'll tell you, Kathleen, I don't think we can make it.
Why? Why not?
we expect to be pretty tied up all summer long.
Doing what?
Why,
They don't have to tell us, Kathleen. It's obvious.
What is?
Don't pretend, Homer. Imagine trying to cover up with a cheap meal.
Gee.
Agnes, what are you talking about?
When did Geraldine Love decide to stay in town, Homer?
Geraldine Love.
Oh.
Kathleen, you're getting the wrong idea.
Sure, Geraldine isn't going to be in town.
Oh, then it's 2 other girls.
Sure. No, I mean, no.
Henry, I never would have believed it. And after all the trouble we went through to get you invited. Agnes, I think we better go. I'll say.
But wait.
Goodbye.
Agnes.
I hope you have a terrible summer.
Kathleen!
Agnes.
Well, that's a fine thing.
That's what I say.
As if we'd ever look at any other girl.
Sure. Besides, who's left in Centerville?
Boy, Homer, what a summer this is going to be. Mopping floors every day and just each other every night.
Henry, hand me that roll. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm glad you boys haven't left.
You want us to start mopping floors right now, Mr. Curly?
Well, now, look, it occurred to me that I may have gotten a little upset a while back.
You had every right to.
Well, I've been thinking it over, and I'll tell you what I'll do.
Yes, Mr. Curly?
Yes, Mr. Curly.
Instead of mopping up and working in the kitchen all summer to pay off the checks, how would you like to work 2 full weeks as busboy?
Busboys with uniforms and everything?
And I'll give you $5 a week besides.
Gee.
Uncle George.
Yes, Myra?
Oh, boy. Henry, look.
Uncle George, you want it over at the... Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, Myra?
I beg your pardon, Uncle George?
You called me?
Oh, yes, you want it at the cashier's desk.
Tell them I'll be there in a minute.
Oh, yes, Uncle George. Well, bye.
Goodbye.
Well, boys? Boys,
What?
Oh, were you talking to us, Mr. Curly?
I was.
Gee, who was that?
My niece, she's visiting me this summer.
She is? All summer?
Yes, she and her twin sister.
Oh, boy. You mean there's another one who looks like that?
Do both of them work here, Mr. Curly?
They help out in the afternoon setting tables and things.
They do.
Well, what do you say, boys? Would you like to work the check off quickly in 2 weeks?
Why,
I'll tell you, Mr. Curly, I think we'd rather mop floors and stretch it out over the whole summer.
I wonder what would happen if Henry dated twins. Only one way to find out. Listen very carefully.
Actually, he's about the most generous person I know. And after all, you said your sister was pretty desperate to meet some boys.
Not that desperate.
What?
Will you wait out here while I have a little talk with Bubbles?
You're not Bubbles?
No, Francine. And excuse me.
But Bubbles, wait. I mean, Francine, you've got to... Oh, boy.
Oh, it's too bad that one is so hard to hear. Andy Hardy also met twins in the 1944 movie Andy Hardy's Blonde Trouble.
Oh, boy, I know this is only in good, clean fun, but boy, oh, boy, what fun! Hiya, Cupcake.
What did you say?
I said, hiya, Cupcake.
That's what I thought you said.
Here is the Hardy family from the spring of 1951.
And now here they are, the same great stars in the parts they created on Mickey Rooney and Fay Holden, the Hardy family. Since the first time he fell in love with his kindergarten teacher at the age of 5, the Hardys have known their son Andy was destined for one thing: marriage.
You think you can handle about 50 guests here tomorrow night, Mom?
50 guests?
Yes. 50.
My goodness, are we having a party?
Well, sort of a wedding reception.
Well, that's wonderful, dear.
Andrew, did I hear right? A wedding reception?
Yeah. A wedding reception? Oh, Annie. Oh, my poor baby. Oh, how awful.
Mom, you don't understand. This wedding reception isn't for me.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh, James, he's saved.
My gosh, Mom. You scare me when you have thoughts like that.
Well, Andrew, if you're not taking the fatal plunge, what's this all about?
Well, you see, Horace Hayes is getting married tomorrow.
Horace Hayes?
Yes,
oh,
Horace.
Isn't that sad? Oh, I'll have to run right over and console his mother. Poor woman must be suffering terribly.
Mom, look, Horace is getting married, not buried.
Well, somehow it's all the same to your mother, son.
Mom, Look, did you go all to pieces like this when you married Dad? Tell me.
Oh, of course not, dear. Well, I was the happiest woman in the world when I married your father.
Well, that's hard to imagine.
Well, you see, Andrew, not all women are as fortunate in their choice of husbands as your mother.
Well, James Hardy. I was happy because you promised we'd go to Europe on our honeymoon.
No. I didn't say Europe, Emily. I said Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Well, say, I didn't know you went to Paris on your honeymoon,
Oh,
folks.
yes, we did, dear. Paris, Kentucky.
Holy cats, that's the trouble with getting married. Everybody expects so much, they dream. Such beautiful dreams. It always turns out so tragic.
Tragic?
Yes.
Well, Andrew, in case you've never noticed, your mother and I have been quite delighted with the institution of marriage for quite some time.
Well, look, it's different with you. You had, well, you had each other.
Mm-hmm. That's quite a unique arrangement, isn't it?
And, of course, you had me.
Yes, dear. And you know, even that didn't break up our marriage. Oh, I could not. I'm sorry, dear. I didn't mean that.
Yeah, well, sure. You folks made the grade, yeah. But listen, think of poor old Horace. And poor Alice Hanson.
Oh, is Alice getting married too, dear?
Certainly. She's marrying Horace, and Horace is marrying Alice.
Oh. Well, isn't that nice? A double wedding.
Yeah, it's a real epidemic.
Well, Andrew, I still ask, why is the wedding reception being held in our house?
Well, you see, Horace has an awful...
Well, Andrew, the bride's parents usually give the reception. Has Alice bought all the necessary refreshments and things?
The refreshments?
Yeah.
I promised we'd furnish those, too.
Well, it looks to me like the only thing her folks are giving away is Alice.
Dad.
Yes?
Well, you see, Horace is out of work. He can't afford a fancy wedding, so they'd like to have you marry them in your court.
Oh, I see. Well, certainly. I'd be very glad to, son.
Thanks, Dad. That's wonderful. That takes a load off. I'll be there early. Oh, by the by, Dad, what's the tax for hooking up a couple of gone ickies?
Hooking up a couple of gone ickies?
Yeah, splicing squares.
You wouldn't mean by any chance what do I charge for performing a marriage ceremony?
That's what I said.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, Andrew, I have no fixed fee for splicing gone gooeyes.
Ickies.
Oh, pardon me. Yes, ickies. But however, the best man usually drops an envelope on the clerk's desk after the ceremony with some nominal amount in it.
The best man. That's me. Tell me, would a buck be nominal?
Yeah, that'd be very nominal.
Good. Dad. What's a good word?
Hi, Andy. I want you to know you have my deepest sympathy.
Sympathy for what? Who's dead?
You.
Me? Me dead? What are you talking about?
Aren't you going to be Horace Hayes' best man at the wedding tomorrow?
Well, you said an absolute truth.
You have my deepest sympathy.
Look, vacuum head. I'm only going to be the best man for Horace, see?
And Polly Benedict is going to be the maid of honor?
That's right. So what?
Do you realize you're next in line for the slaughter?
That's crazy. That's crazy, me next in line for the slaughter. Polly's not going to trap me, boy.
Listen, Andy, look, as an old friend, let me warn you what's going to happen. After the wedding, the bride always throws her bouquet to the other girls, doesn't she?
Yeah, I guess so. That's the way it is in movies, at least.
Okay, and the girl who catches the bouquet is supposed to be the next one to get married, right?
Oh, my gosh.
You get it?
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Polly will be the only girl at the wedding.
You have my...
Shut up, will you, please?
Cut
it out, please. Please, be quiet.
This is just a rehearsal to get you broken in for the real thing.
Oh, listen, kid. I'm cagey. No one girl is going to pin me down. No, sirree.
You mean you're going to be a bigamist?
No girl can run fast enough to catch me.
They don't get you when you're running. They usually strike when you're sitting down.
Nobody's going to trap me.
Oh, hello, Andy.
I'm warning you. Keep your distance from me.
Oh.
Keep your distance, dear.
Oh, Andy, you don't know how I've been waiting to see you tonight.
Is that right? Is that right, Miss Benedict?
Miss Benedict? My, how formal. Come on in.
Couldn't we stand outside here?
Why?
Oh, I don't know. Going indoors gives you that cooped-up, trapped feeling.
Oh, Andy, it's chilly out here. Come on in.
Yeah, well, for a minute. Would you leave the door open?
What on earth for?
I may want to leave fast.
You're acting awfully peculiar, Andy. I just want to talk to you.
Talk? Well, all right. I'll talk to you, yes.
You know, Andy, about the wedding tomorrow.
Yeah. What about it?
Well, I've been thinking...
Let me out!
Andy, what's the matter with you?
I told you to leave that door open. Good night, please.
Oh, come back here. You act like you're actually afraid of something.
I don't want you to start getting any ideas just because of this wedding tomorrow.
Ideas?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mr. Hardy, I don't have any ideas.
It only takes a second to get one.
And I'm not going to get any. I don't hear any wedding bells for us.
Look, honey, wedding bells are like bombs. When you hear them, it's too late to duck. But when you don't hear them, look out for a direct hit.
Oh, come on, Andy. Sit down here on the Davenport beside me. And stop worrying.
All right, dear. No smooching, please. Please, no smooching, no cuddling, no moving.
All right.
When I kiss you, you're not responsible. I know. You might say some crazy thing like, let's get married.
You certainly consider yourself devastating.
I'm loaded.
I'll fight to keep my head.
Good. Nice day, wasn't it?
Very nice.
Paper says warmer tomorrow.
That's good.
Nice day yesterday, too. 3 days. Your hair sure smells good tonight, dear.
Yes, it was nice yesterday.
Huh? Oh, yeah. The weatherman says we may have a Gosh, what kind of cologne are you wearing, darling?
It's called Come Hither. What's the matter?
I'm coming hither.
But, Andy, you said
I can't get any hitherer.
Now, Andy, the weather.
Yeah, those eyes. That peaches and cream skin. That soft rose petal mouth of yours.
Andy, stop.
Pucker up, dream flower. I'm going to crush those petals.
Oh, Andy.
Polly, darling.
Yes.
Let's get married.
Andy, how soon will you... I mean, how long have you got?
What do you mean?
I mean...
Huh?
Oh, you poor thing.
What do you mean?
Oh, you're so young to go.
Young to go. Mom, this is supposed to be a very joyous occasion.
Yes, Emma, this should be one of the happiest days of your life.
Yes, sure.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I guess every mother hates to lose her son.
Lose me? Mom, you don't think that you'd ever lose me, do you?
Well, Andrew, this does mean a new life for you.
Listen, wait a minute.
And for us, too.
No, both of you. Please, listen. You'll never lose me. Look, do you think I'd walk out and leave you flat? Do you really? I know how you count on my $6 contribution to the house every week. $6 isn't hay.
You're right about that.
Yeah.
These days, $6 wouldn't even get you a good meal of hay.
Don't worry, I'm going to keep right on giving it to you.
Oh, James,
Yes,
isn't
sirree.
he sweet?
Well, that's fine, Andrew, but I don't see how you
Lose me,
figure-
lose me, no, sir. Well, you won't be losing a son. The way I figure it, you'll be just gaining a daughter.
Oh, Andrew, just a minute. Do you mean what I think
Yes,
you mean?
Sure. Polly and I, we're going to live with you.
In a moment, the Hardy family will return. But first, a word from your announcer. And now, back to the Hardy family, starring Mickey Rooney, Louis Stone, and Fay Holder.
Philosophers have said love is a madness, and marriage is the institution which treats it. Well, after 10 mad years as a lover, Andy Hardy is certainly ready for an institution.
Love is in the air. I smell orange blossoms. I got a care as long as you're there. I smell orange blossoms
Andrew.
everywhere. Love,
Andrew.
love and orange blossoms.
Well, Andrew, look what... You're putting mustard all over your oatmeal.
Excuse me, Dad. I guess I'm a little fogged.
My goodness, Andy, you're so gay, and you would think today was your wedding day.
My wedding. My wedding. My wedding. I now pronounce you man. Mr. and Mrs. Andrew Hardy. No!
Andrew, you keep on, and they'll pronounce you idiot and wife.
Dad, I don't know what it is. The whole idea makes me feel giddy. Kind of lightheaded. Empty in my stomach.
Beginning to affect my stomach, too.
Now, James, don't be hard on poor Andy. You know, you were pretty giddy and lightheaded the night you proposed to me.
Yeah, I certainly was.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I was just agreeing with you, my dear. I was very giddy the night I proposed to you.
No, it doesn't sound cute the way you say it.
Mom, didn't you feel it too? Didn't you, huh?
What,
Look, don't girls get all squeamy and squishy and sort of flip their dippers?
No, dear. You see, a woman has to keep her head before the wedding. See that all the 1,000,001 little things get done.
I suppose it's true.
No, it's after the wedding that women flip their dippers.
They do, is that right?
Why, James Hardy.
Emily, do you remember the night after our wedding?
Yes. Yes, we went to the reception, then to our own little house.
Mm-hmm.
Dad carried you over the threshold.
No, dear, he lifted me through the window. He'd forgotten his key.
I meant later that night while we were sitting by the fire, holding hands.
Oh, yes.
Oh, gosh.
I leaned over and put my arm around you.
Oh, yes, dear.
That's murder.
We snuggled up close.
Go on.
I looked deep into your eyes.
Yes, and I tried to push you away.
Leave him alone, will you, please? Let him tell his own story. He knows what he's doing.
Then I bent over to kiss you.
Yes, James.
Oh, boy, how oily can you get? Go on, Dad. What then? What happened? What?
Yeah, her father walked in.
Her father? Get him out. What's he doing here on a wedding night?
I was so nervous and excited, I hadn't realized
You hadn't
something.
realized what? What's that?
Well, your father was so used to coming over to my place every night. That's where he brought me after the wedding.
Holy cats.
Yes, and that's when your mother flipped her dipper.
I see what you mean. Well, it was natural for you two to be excited. Marriage was new to you. It won't be that way with me.
Yes, I imagine your wedding will be the biggest thing since Hamlet.
It'll be beautiful. It'll be dramatic. I know when to smile and when to wring a tear. When to speak softly. And when to let my voice ring out in loud, clear tones.
Oh, I know, dear. You'll give a thrilling performance.
Yeah, the whole thing is so terrific. I've I've just been thinking that...
Well, what?
I'm just wasting my wedding here in Carville.
What?
I'm going to put it to music and do it as a Broadway show.
Well, hello, Anna. Come in.
Horace will be along in a minute. Polly's bringing Alice over, too.
Well, I have to hear just one short case here in the court. Then I'll declare a short recess and come back and perform the ceremony.
Good. Well, I'll just wait here for the others, Dad. Thanks very much. Oh, hi, Horace. Come on in. Come on in, Horace. Well, how's the old blushing bridegroom? Ready to waltz down the old aisle, huh? Ready to live a little boy, huh?
I wish I was dead.
Oh, maybe just a little case of nerves or something.
I got indigestion and my head aches and my fingers feel numb clear up to my shoulders.
Well, look, you'll feel better when Dad gets here and starts the beautiful marriage ceremony.
Not unless he's going to marry Alice himself.
Horace, look, get a grip on yourself.
I must have been out of my mind. Andy, I don't want to get married. Andy, you gotta get him to call it off.
Call it off? Why, in a few more moments, why, you'll be a happily married man.
Andy, catch me.
Holy cats. I didn't know it affected people like this.
You should have seen my brother the day he got married. He hasn't been right since.
Maybe you're exaggerating.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Oh, hi, Polly. Hi, dear.
Is this where we're supposed to meet?
Yeah, this is the happy little wedding room.
Come on in, Alice. Oh, this is
We're
it.
all...
Andy, look at Alice. Isn't she adorable?
Adorable. She looks awful. Yeah, that's what she does. What's wrong with her?
Wrong?
Yeah.
Why, nothing. What could be wrong? She's deliriously happy.
Alice, tell me, are you happy? She sounds deliriously happy.
Well, Horace, aren't you going to say something to Alice? Alice, it's all right for you to speak to Horace. Oh, aren't they cute?
Yeah, they're cute, like two people being flogged to death.
Oh, I could go to a wedding every day.
Let's not get sadistic, Polly.
Sorry to get you all waiting. Now, if we may begin.
Come on, smile, Horace. Be gay, light-hearted, Horace.
You're all gathered here in the presence of witnesses to unite in matrimony, this man and this woman.
Goodbye, Horace.
And as you travel down life's road together, sharing joys, comforting one another in times of sorrow and stress. Andy,
Andy, please, be quiet.
As you travel down life's road together, sharing joy.
Andy. Oh, Andy, please.
As you travel down life's road together.
Dad.
Andrew, please. This is a solemn wedding ceremony.
I'll say it's solemn. I keep wondering when you're going to say rest in peace.
Andrew, I'll have to ask you again to be quiet.
Can I sit down, please? Really, I feel weak, kind of sick to my
Sit down. Good heavens. The bride collapsed in that chair. The groom in that one over there. This place beginning to look like the waiting room of a dentist's office.
No.
Oh, Andy, I just can't understand you. This is so beautiful.
Beautiful, darling. It's ghastly. I didn't know. How does anybody ever get through it?
I don't know myself, but I'd like to try if you don't mind.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dad. Go ahead, please. I'll try to last it out.
Well, considering the condition of all parties concerned, perhaps I can shorten this a little.
Good. Make it painless, Dad. Sort of a mercy ceremony.
Let's see. Any man present knows just cause why these two should not be joined in wedlock. Let him now step forward or forever hold his peace.
I do! I know just
Andy, for heaven's
I can't help it, darling. Horace is off his rocker.
Oh, Andy.
You look at darling. You can't send him up for life.
Andrew.
He's being railroaded, Dad. It's a bum rap. He doesn't know what he's doing. Does he have to pay the rest of his life for one little mistake? One little mistake? We'll fight this thing, Horace. I'll never rest till he goes free. Never. Never till he goes free, Dad. This man is innocent. Believe me. He
In a moment, the Hardy family will return. And now, here again is the Hardy family.
Andrew. Andrew, you've got to come out of your room sooner or later.
Oh, please come out, dear. You've been in there for hours.
Andrew, they've all gone home. The reception's all over.
Has Polly gone, too?
Yes, dear. She left some time ago.
Yeah, all right, then I'll come out.
And you missed a fine reception. Archie Bryant had a wonderful time.
They couldn't have. I'll never forget how they look when you pronounce them spliced. Dad, the look on their face, it was horrible.
Oh, but Andy, dear, everybody's nervous at his own wedding.
I'll never know. I'll never know, darling. I gotta figure out how to cancel mine.
You mean that you've decided not to marry Polly?
I've decided not to marry any girl, Dad. Beezy and I are gonna run away.
James, tell him he can't elope with Beezy.
Well, Andrew. Andrew, after the way you carried on today, Polly said she wouldn't marry you if you were the last man on the earth.
Oh,
James.
well, she did, yes.
I didn't hear Polly say anything like
She said it. Son, she's crossing you out of her life right now. As a matter of fact, she said she had several more attractive proposals anyway.
Oh, she did. Well, I'll stop that right now. She's not gonna marry some other guy, believe me.
Oh, you mean you don't want her, but you don't want anybody else to have her either, is that it?
It's not at all, Dad. Believe me, it's not it. Every man has a duty to his fellow man to try to keep him from suffering through a wedding like I just saw.
Well, what do you mean, dear?
I gotta keep Polly from trapping some poor innocent guy. Yes. Even if I have to marry her myself.
The Hardy Family, starring Louis Stone, Nicky Rooney, and Fay Holden, is based on characters created by Aurania Ruverol. This program was written by Jameson Brewer, direction is by Joe Bigelow. Original music was composed and conducted by Jerry Fielding. Supporting cast included Eleanor Tannen, Dick Crenna, Charles Smith, and Lee Brooks. Herb Allen speaking.
That was the Hardy Family from 1951, and now going back a few years earlier, when people would listen to the radio, not just for music, but for comedy programs like the Aldrich Family and mystery programs. Here is a short episode of the Aldrich Family from 1947.
Henry Aldrich. Come in, Mother.
The Aldrich Family. Starring Ezra Stone, with Jackie Kelt, Catherine Roth, Alf Jameson, Mary Roth, and Norman Pocock. We all know that a house is made up of four walls and a roof. But add a family and you have a home. Add a teenage boy like Henry Aldrich and you have Bedlam. The scene opens in the Aldrich living room.
Mary, did you find your shoes? Yes, Mother, I'm all ready, except for my makeup.
Dear, I want you to help me look for my long hat pin. This hat just won't stay on without it.
Henry?
Yes, Mother?
Have you seen my long hat pin?
Your long hat, Mother?
No, dear.
The one that looks like a barber pole?
Henry, she doesn't want the hat. She wants the pin.
I have a safety pin inside me, Mother.
What?
The only thing is it's holding my trousers up. And, Mother, don't you think $1's too much?
Too much for what?
Well,
Henry, look at you. We're all ready to leave, and you haven't even combed your hair.
I combed it. I give you my word I combed it. It's Willie Marshall, Mother. He's trying to get $1 out of me for my own radio that was fine until he fixed it, only he didn't fix it. See, and now all the lights in the house keep going out. Don't you agree, Mother?
Yes, dear. Mary, help me look behind the sofa cushions for my hat pin.
Yes, Mother, only do you really have to have it?
Now, Mary, I just won't feel safe without it. And I certainly can't go out to a place like this with my hat on my mind.
Mother, how much do you think Father would charge me to sue Willie Marshall?
Henry!
Willie, I've warned you for the last time.
I'm giving you one last chance. Are you paying me that $1 or aren't you?
Now, listen, Willie, where do you think you're going with that radio?
I'm seizing it.
Willie, that radio belongs to Henry.
I'm not in the radio repair business for my health, Mary. Henry owes me $1, and I can't afford to let friendship interfere. I'm a businessman.
You're a crook.
Now, Henry, I'm sure you're mistaken.
Mother, do you realize that now every time I turn on my radio, all the lights in my room go out?
They do not.
They do so. And unless you tune in on a mystery program, what good is that?
Wait a minute. What is that sticking up on top of the radio?
That's my aerial.
That's my hat pin.
Well, my goodness, Mother, I'm going to go put on my face.
Gee whiz, Mother, are you taking it out?
Yes, I am. Do you realize we have to leave here in 10 minutes, and I almost had to go without a hat?
Hey, Henry.
Homer, where have you been? I told you not to let Willie near my radio.
Look, Henry, I found your baseball bat. Now we can stick up for your right.
Oh, yeah?
Now listen, Willie, you see this baseball bat?
Yeah, and you see this radio?
Fellas, wait.
Now, just a minute. Homer and Willie, I'm sorry, but Henry is going out with us in just a few minutes.
I know, Mrs. Aldrich. I'm coming, too.
What's that?
Henry, didn't you say your mother invited me?
I said she would, Homer, after I'd worked on her for a while.
I'm coming, Sam. And Henry, after I see what your father wants, I'd like to speak to you.
But, Mother, Homer won't be any trouble.
Does that mean I can go with you, Henry?
Sam, where are you?
I'm in the kitchen, shining my shoes.
Oh, my goodness. There are times when I wish Henry was 5 years younger so I could turn him over my knee.
I can see your point, Alice, but do you think it would be worth going through the last 5 years again?
Well, no, but do you know what he's done? He's invited Homer to come with us.
Yes?
It isn't that Homer doesn't have his good points, dear, but I'm always afraid somebody's going to think he's ours.
Why isn't Homer going with his own parents?
But didn't you know, Sam, they aren't going?
What's that?
Well, Elizabeth is... Well, I don't suppose she's afraid exactly, but just the word cancer makes her nervous.
Yeah? So she's just going to ignore it, huh?
Well, if she thought she had it, I suppose she'd do something. But she thinks it's silly to take the whole family down to Dr. Bennington for an examination and just get them frightened.
And just how does Elizabeth think people are going to know if they don't have an examination?
Well, she keeps saying she's never had a sick day in her life and she feels perfectly fine.
Hey, look, Alice, get her on the phone and explain to her that we all feel sure we haven't got cancer. But the reason we're going to Dr. Bennington for an examination is purely for reassurance.
Well, all right, Sam, I'll phone her.
Tell her we'll pick her up in 10 minutes.
Come on, Homer. Is he following us?
I don't think so.
Father, did you leave $1 bill on the dining room table?
Yes, Henry, it's for the paper boy.
Well, did you know Willie Marshall was standing right over it, looking at it?
What's that? Oh, Willie!
Listen, Henry, what are we going to do? Do you think he means it?
Sure he means it, Homer. If Willie says he's going to stick right with me until I pay him $1, boy, he'll even be going to bed with me tonight.
And if he comes down to the doctor's with us, think how embarrassing it's going to be for your parents. Somebody might think he belongs to them.
Homer, wait a minute. You see that broom closet right behind you?
Yeah. Henry, are you thinking the same thing I'm thinking?
I think so.
Because if you are, I think Willie would just fit in there perfectly.
Sure.
Oh, Willie! Oh, Willie!
Yeah? Well, Henry, are you ready to fix things up?
Sure, Willie.
You're going to get fixed up.
Well, that's swell. I hate to do this to you, Hen, but on a deal like this, you gotta close it when you get the chance.
You hear that, Homer? Good luck!
Henry, wait.
If you're gonna get the money, Henry, you'll find it on your dining room table.
Mother!
We're in the front hall, Henry.
Well, is everybody ready?
I am, Father.
So am I.
Well, let's hurry then, because we have to pick up Elizabeth Brown.
Well, is everybody ready, or are we leaving now?
Willie, are you coming?
Sure. Didn't I make myself clear, Henry?
Well, gee whiz, where's Homer?
Homer decided he wouldn't be going anyplace for a while.
That's funny.
Well, then, what are we waiting for? Let's go.
Henry, please come on.
It isn't going to do any good to just sit here in the waiting room, son.
Come on, Henry. Father's right. You better come home with us.
But don't you all understand? I have to find out what's the matter with Willie.
There's probably nothing wrong with him, dear.
But, Mother, didn't you hear the nurse? She said Dr. Bennington sent my pal Willie over to a specialist. Gee.
Now, Henry, I don't think for 1 minute that Willie has cancer. But if he has, it's a good thing they found out about it.
Father, can't I just wait here until I hear something?
But, Henry, we should be getting home.
Boy, here we are, and Dr. Bennington says we're all fine, and we can go home, and there's Willie someplace.
Where is he? Where is he?
Homer!
Where's Willie? I just broke out of that broom closet, and boy...
Homer, is that my broom you're waving around?
Yes, Mrs. Aldrich, and wait till I find that Willie.
Homer, you know what's happened to our pal?
Who?
Willie.
Boy, some pal. Come on, where is he?
He isn't here, Homer. Dr. Bennington examined him, and then he sent him to another doctor, a specialist.
You mean he's sick? Our pal, Willie?
And boy, I'm going to sit right here until I find out how he is.
Mrs. Aldrich, would you like to carry your broom home? Henry, move over.
Alice!
Yes, Sam. Where are you?
In the living room. And, Alice, I'd like you to take a look at something.
Of course. What is it?
That corner over there. Do you see anything in it?
No, dear, nothing.
Neither do I. And isn't that where we usually keep our radio?
My goodness, it's gone.
Mary, have you seen our radio?
Did you say the kitchen radio was in here, Father?
No, I didn't.
Well, it isn't in the kitchen.
Do you mean it's gone, too? Sam, phone the police. They've been stolen.
Easy, Homer. Just back up a few more steps.
Don't push me off the sidewalk. Boy, is this radio heavy.
Okay, Homer. Lower it into the wagon. Easy now.
Can I let go?
Yeah, there. Whew. Homer, you wouldn't like to go back in your house, would you, and look around some more?
Henry, for the millionth time, this living room radio is the only one we've got.
Unless... Homer, does your father have a radio in his car?
Oh, no. I'm not going to let Willie touch that one, even if he is our best pal.
Well, anyway, with these two from my house, we've got 3 for him to repair.
Sure. That should make him happy. And we won't tell him they don't really need repairing, will we?
Of course not. Well, he won't know the difference. Come on, let's get these over to his house.
Sure. Who'll pull the wagon?
Homer, suppose you pull it over, and I'll pull it back.
Well, that's a good idea.
Are you sure Dr. Bennington said they sent Willie home?
Yeah, straight from the specialist.
Boy, they've probably sent him to bed for at least a month.
Henry, how long do you suppose it takes to cure cancer?
I don't know. My father says it all depends on how early you discover it.
My mother's got a friend, and you know what she says? If you drink rusty water out of a blacksmith's pail, you can cure it.
Homer.
Or if you get touched by a seventh son of the seventh son.
Boy, imagine anybody believing a thing like that.
Huh? What?
Wouldn't you think even a moron would see through a thing like that?
Oh, sure, I'll say. I saw through it the minute I heard it.
And listen, Homer, when we get over there, let's not bother Willie. Let's just give these radios to his mother.
Sure. And tell her to tell him to go right to work and have a swell time and fix them all he wants.
Sure. Provided she's got lots of fuses.
Hello, Officer Burns. This is Sam Aldrich again. I just called to see if you'd had any word on our radios. Oh, I see.
Mother, I'm home.
The large radio was stolen from the living room, officer.
Oh, gee whiz.
And the small one from the kitchen.
Father, could I speak to you for a second?
Would you hold on a minute, officer? Henry, what is it?
Father, I took those radios over to my pal Willie's house so he could fix them.
What? But, Henry, they didn't need to be fixed.
I know, Father, but Willie's awfully sick, and do you think 2 little radios are too much of a sacrifice?
Hello, officer. I'm sorry to have troubled you. We just caught the party who took the radios. No, I don't wish to press charges. Oh, no, please don't bother. Just let me handle him. Goodbye, Officer Burns. Now, see here, Henry.
Well, wouldn't you like me to answer the door, Father?
Yes, please, and then will you come into the living room?
Well, gee whiz.
Hi, Henry.
Willie, what are you doing up? Gee, come on in.
Listen, Henry.
Willie, you better come in and sit down. How are you feeling?
I feel fine. I can use my feet all I want.
You want? Didn't Dr. Bennington send you to a specialist?
Sure, cerebropatist. I got fallen arches.
You what?
Boy, that's some examination they give you for cancer. You know what else they discovered? I got to have my tonsils out.
Well, I'll be darned.
That's okay. I'm going to do a big business while I'm in the hospital. You know they have a radio in every room?
Listen, Willie, speaking of radio...
Sure, let's get down to business. I've got all your radios in running order, but it was a big job, so you owe me $2 for each one.
Willie, you're crazy. I don't owe you a cent.
Okay, then I'll seize the radio.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Father, could you get that policeman back on the phone?
Well, thanks for sitting through the static and listening to this episode of Gee Whiz. You can find more about me, John Henderson, at thisdaybenny.com.